We are Parents Helping Parents Get an Early Start program, information and resources for families with children ages 0 to 3 in Santa Clara County. Contact us if you have any questions or need information. Today, this video will go over the referral forms for the Early Start program, which is the early intervention program here in Santa Clara County, California. We've added in the description below the exact minutes for each form so you can fast forward if you need to. We also have Early Start intake form assistance through appointments. If you need additional help with understanding and completing these intake forms, you may schedule an appointment with us. You may call us to Parents Helping Parents or visit our website, and you can find the calendar of available times there as well. So how do we receive these forms? Usually after the initial phone call and intake of information that we will go over with right now. This may be done by your pediatrician or any other person that is working with your child, or you may refer your child yourself if you have concerns about his or her development. Now, if you are not in Santa Clara County, the forms may look different for you. So do find your local early intervention program. At dds.ca.gov, you can find your local program for your county. Now, if you're not in California, you may want to contact your Parent Center, the Family Resource Center at parentcenterhub.org. You can find that information too. This is what the first intake data form looks like. Again, it can be filled out by your pediatrician, so that's why it says medical information, usually the doctor's office or a social worker or any other program you're working with that your child is being seen by. It also may be filled out by phone once you make the call to the Early Start program. And this is to let the program know that there is a child and that there is concerns about his or her development, and he may or she may need to be assessed. So it's the information to get in touch with you and get you the packet of forms. So this is an important step. Let's go over the points that are important. It's a one-page form. You will see the word student along the forms. This refers to your child. And the focus of this first step is to get your contact information and the reason for referral, which is their concerns or the concerns there are. You can be very brief with the concerns. Again, it can be filled out or sent out by yourself or by your pediatrician, a social worker. It can be completed over the phone also. Email is the fastest and recommended way for this information to be received. That is the email for the Early Start program. Do double check that all your information is correct, address and phone numbers and emails, because this is what the program will use to get in touch with you and get you the packet of forms. After this first call and referral to the Early Start program, a packet of forms will be sent to you by mail or email. Regular mail is a little slower, so please allow about a week after that initial referral to receive the packet. If there's any questions about not receiving it, damage, etc., give the Early Start program a call as soon as possible so you can get that packet of forms. The content of the packet is 5 forms. We will go over them one by one. And also it contains a cover letter, a copy of your parent rights, and information about your Family Resource Center in Santa Clara County, which is Parents Helping Parents. We're going to start with the cover letter, which also contains these 5 forms in this same order, and we will go in the same order. The cover letter looks like this. It's one page, and it explains what you will be required to fill out, these 5 forms. It also gives you a little reminder to get copies of immunization records or a TB screening, so you may want to get started with that to avoid delays. And it also gives you the information for the 2 lead agencies for the Early Start program here in Santa Clara County, which are the Santa Clara County Office of Education and San Andreas Regional Center. You have the name of the 2 lead contacts here, their phone numbers and emails. So important to remember about this letter is that it's one page, should keep it for your records and as a reference. It does list the forms that you will need to complete. It explains the process briefly, has the contact emails and information for the two lead agencies, Santa Clara County Office of Education and San Andreas Regional Center. The name of the directors and contact numbers are there on the cover letter. And on the first form, you will see the word Passbook. You may see it later on. It seems like it's a term that has or is changing, so disregard it if it's confusing. So before you get started, I want to give you a couple tips about taking good care of yourself. Filling out forms can be stressful and they are a little bit long, so take frequent breaks and breathe. Make sure you take good care of yourself with water, snacks, and a nice, comfortable place that you can find in your house or anywhere else if needed, so you can complete the forms easier. And if you are missing information, let the Early Start program know. It is very likely you can complete it later. And if you need help, call Early Start, call Parents Helping Parents. We are here to support you. So let's get started. Form number 1, intake form. This is what the intake form looks like. Form number 1, it's asking for information about your child, date of birth, information about your family, names of mother and father, of other agencies, your home language, social security number. I do want to quickly let you know it is not required if you don't have it, or don't feel comfortable sharing. Call the program if you have questions, but it is not required. This is 2 pages. This is the second page of that form, number 1, intake form. It also asks for information about other agencies you've been working with. Try to remember as much as you can. Also about your health insurance. Let the program know of any changes or things that are in the process. You may be able to complete that later, but let the program know. Let's go over the important things to remember. Points to remember for form number 1 intake form is that this is a 2-page form. Social security numbers are not required. Your school district is also not required. If you don't know it, if you do, that's great. If you can't remember the names of your doctors, don't worry. Add the names of medical offices or places you visit the doctor at. Anything that you can remember is okay. You may fill that out later. And only one parent needs to sign and fill out the form. Form number 2, Early Intervention Family Assessment. This is what form number 2 looks like, family assessment. As you can see, it's open questions. Do your best. Short sentences is fine. And if you need more space, use the back or add additional pages to this form. It is 2 pages. This is what the second page of this form looks like, but this is not needed. This is for future updates, so don't worry about it. Let's go over points to remember for form number 2, Early Intervention Family Assessment. This is 2 pages. You only need to fill out the first page. The form is not mandatory. That's important. It's not mandatory, but it is very helpful if you complete it. It is not intended to judge your family life. These questions help the program design a better program for your child and your family. Feel free to add more information as you need. And do add in this area any concerns you have about how the program will work for you, given your family's personal situation. Form number 3, Passbook to Services, Medical and Developmental History. This is form number 3, Medical and Developmental History. It is 3 pages long. I've only added the first page because it goes into many medical details, very different for every family. Do the best you can to fill it out and remember the information. Let's go over the important points for these 3 pages of medical and developmental history. Points to remember for form number 3, medical and developmental history, is that this is a form of 3 pages. Do your best to provide the information. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The program will get a medical file as well from your doctor. There are some terms on these forms like APGAR. Ventilator may also include a CPAP, RSV, CMV. I've added a little description here, but if those don't ring a bell for you, it's probably because it you didn't happen to you. So do give the program a call if you have any questions. It is asking for your family history. This is important for possible future issues. Do your best guess on the milestones ages. If you can't remember an age that your child did something or started doing something, you may mark yes if he can or she can do it now, or no if the child cannot. You can also ask your doctor for information, but do call the Early Start program first. They can probably accept a packet as complete without some of this information. They can um, get it from you or from the doctor later. The third page you will see asks for communication information. This is only if your child is 12 months or older, 1 year of age or older. Form number 4, Authorization of Exchange Forms, or HIPAA. Now, these forms, it's important to tell you that they are mandatory. So this first page lets you know about that. So I've circled mandatory there. It requires the 5 pages with 5 signatures. If you have any questions, give the program a call. They will explain it to you in more detail. I've added only the first page. This is what the first authorization for exchange forms looks like. It's giving permission here at the top to San Andreas Regional Center. And so the first 3 authorizations are for the agencies that partner with Early Start to provide you the assessment. They give the agencies permission to share with each other information about your child. And the authorization for your pediatrician allows Early Start to request medical documents regarding your child and to review them prior to the assessment. So as you can see, they have highlighted areas here on each page. Student, again, is your child. So initial next to each box with an X and sign and date at the bottom, each one of these 5 pages. Let's go over important points for these forms. Points to remember for form number 4, Authorization of Exchanges, HIPAA. Very briefly, HIPAA is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. That's why they require your signature. These are 5 forms on 5 pages, and all 5 forms must be signed and dated. Again, these form number 4, these 5 pages are mandatory for the program to be able to exchange information about your child and proceed with the referral to the Early Start program. Please complete, check the boxes, and initial all the highlighted areas and sign and date each page at the bottom. Form number 5 is the ASQ, usually known just for short ASQ, Developmental Milestones Screening Tool. This is what form number 5 looks like. This is an example for 20 months, 2 years old. It is usually 3 to 5 pages, but it will depend on the age range of your child. The program will send you the ones that go with the age of your child. Read carefully the directions on the top of the questionnaire. This right side area might not be needed at this time. The program will let you know. Sometimes you need to fill this questionnaire out later on. They will let you know. And so it goes over questions. It gives you options of always, sometimes, rarely, or never, and check if it is a concern. So let's go over the important points. Points to remember for form number 5, ASQ, Developmental Screening Tool, is that this form is 3 to 5 pages long, depending on the age range of your child. You will receive the one according to your child's age. If you haven't seen a behavior described in the questions, it could be considered a concern. Feel free to add a page to this questionnaire if you feel the need to add more information. And if you're wondering about developmental milestones, we've added this website from cdc.gov that has very useful videos and charts on development for children. So remember, I hope you remember to take breaks, to take care of yourself along the way, um, and to call the program or call PHP if you need help. You are almost done. So if you're missing some information, remember you can fill it out later. And let's take a last look of your forms and check for all the signatures. Make sure they're there. And to let the program know if you're missing anything, and you could send it as is as soon as possible. Kids do develop very quickly. It's important to get these forms to the program as soon as possible. So let's go over the next steps. The next steps is to return the packet either by mail in the enclosed envelope to Chandler Trip School on Thurton Way in San Jose, California. Extra postage may be required, about $1.40. Let the team know if you're missing the envelope or need anything to deliver it by mail. The fastest way, as we can say, is emailing. So you will need to scan all the forms and email them to the Early Start Referral email, or by fax. This is the email and the fax on this page. So after receiving your packet, Early Start will call you, and an assessment will be scheduled usually within 7 to 10 days. They want to see your child and talk to you. And so within 45 days from that initial call, that initial referral to the program, there should be a meeting scheduled with you to review the results of the assessments, where they reviewed all the forms that you filled out, they observed your child, talked to you, gathered information. They will review that with you. You are part of the team that reviews the packet. And then they will discuss eligibility with you and plan together the program for your child. So this meeting you will receive an invitation to is also known as an IFSP meeting. An IFSP is an individualized family service plan that is written for a child until age 3. Any questions, call the Early Start program. These are the numbers, or call Parents Helping Parents. Remember, we do have online appointments to support you with the forms. Best of luck filling these forms out. We are here for you anytime and anywhere at Parents Helping Parents. Visit our e-learning library of videos for more information and useful videos for learning or to help your family. Until next time.